Hello friends, Jessica Juckstock here. Do you ever feel like it's only the outgoing, extroverted people who can make a difference in the world? I know that I've felt like that myself a lot, just because I'm not the kind of person who tends to do quite as well in one-on-one personal interaction situations. So I felt like, oh, I can't be a successful business person because I'm not an extroverted person. Well, you may be thinking watching me, oh, she's not an introvert because she's on camera. But the truth is that I do much better preparing things ahead of time and knowing what I'm going to say and presenting it before basically an audience of people than I do like on one-on-one personal interaction situations. So where I don't have that pressure of having to like think of what I'm going to say quickly, where I can like stop and think about what I'm going to say. Tend to do a little better in those situations. So I definitely do think of myself as an introvert, even though I'm on camera. So anyway, I recently started reading this book. It's called Quiet, and I don't know if any of you have read this book. If you've read it, please leave me a comment, whether you're watching this live or in the replay. I'd love to know how many of you have read this book. If you have not watched the TED Talk by Susan Cain, I highly recommend that you watch her talk. It's a very, very compelling talk. And I watched it, I think it was a few years ago actually that I watched it, and it was a very good talk. So highly suggest that. But I want to read to you a passage from this book that I think really drives home this idea that you don't have to be an extrovert, you don't have to be an outgoing person to make a difference. You can be a quiet, introverted person and still leave a mark on the world. So I think you will find this compelling, and I hope it's not too awkward me reading on camera, but I really want to get the full like impact of her words, so I don't want to summarize them. Montgomery, Alabama, December 1st, 1955, early evening. A public bus pulls to a stop, and a sensibly dressed woman in her 40s gets on. She carries herself erectly, despite having spent the day bent over an ironing board in a dingy basement tailor shop at the Montgomery Fair department store. Her feet are swollen. Her shoulders ache. She sits in the first row of the colored section and watches quietly as the bus fills with riders, until the driver orders her to give her seat to a white passenger. The woman utters a single word that ignites one of the most important civil rights protests of the 20th century. One word that helps America find its better self. The word is no. The driver threatens to have her arrested. "You may do that," says Rosa Parks. A police officer arrives. He asks Parks why she won't move. "Why do you all push us around?" She answers simply. "I don't know," he says, "but the law is the law, and you're under arrest." On the afternoon of her trial and conviction for disorderly conduct, the Montgomery Improvement Association The Montgomery Improvement Association holds a rally for Parks at the Holt Street Baptist Church in the poorest section of the town. 5,000 gather to support Parks's lonely act of courage. They squeeze inside the church until its pews can hold no more. The rest wait patiently outside, listening through loudspeakers. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. addresses the crowd. "There comes a time that people get tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression," he tells them. "There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amidst the piercing chill of an alpine November." I'm sorry, you guys. She really wants to be a part of this. Let's get resituated here. "There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amidst the piercing chill of an alpine November." He praises Parks's bravery and hugs her. She stands silently, her mere presence enough to galvanize the crowd. The association launches a citywide bus boycott that lasts 381 days. The people trudge miles to work. They carpool with strangers. They change the course of American history. I had always imagined Rosa Parks as a stately woman with a bold temperament, someone who could easily stand up to a busload of glowering passengers. But when she died in 2005 at the age of 92, the flood of obituaries recalled her as soft-spoken, sweet, and small in stature. They said she was timid and shy, but had the courage of a lion. They were full of phrases like radical humility and quiet fortitude. What does it mean to be quiet and have fortitude? These descriptions asked implicitly. How could you be shy and courageous? Parks herself seemed aware of this paradox, calling her autobiography Quiet Strength, a title that challenges us to question our assumptions. Why shouldn't quiet be strong? And what else can quiet do that we don't give it credit for? So I hope that that is an effective illustration to you of how quiet people can change the world. And I want to ask you, if you are quiet, what do you have inside of you that can change the world? And how can you share that with the world in a way that can be compelling and that can change the world? Sorry about the distractions of my baby here. Kind of derailed my train of thought a little bit. But I hope that you found this content valuable. If you did, please share, please comment. If you would like some help with this, figuring out like how to make a difference in the world as a quiet person, I would love to talk with you, share with you some ideas and some things that I have found in my journey of being less afraid to share myself and what I have inside of me with the world. So hope that was valuable, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.